Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Pankaj Dhingra, and as you all know me by now, I'm a proud FinTrammer. Welcome. Welcome, friends. Welcome to the CPA 2024 series. I know all of you who are really looking forward for becoming a US CPA are really looking forward for what all are the changes that are there in the 2024 curriculum. And that is the reason, my friend, we have started this 2024 series just to make sure that you're really understanding anything and everything in relation to the US CPA 2024 curriculum. We will be deep diving, my friend, in these sessions in all of these subject areas. We'll try to cover up in terms of what is really covered over here. We'll also try to see as to what the examiner really expects from us, and so on and so forth. And then rest is what we will get as your questions. We will try to answer that too. Does that sound like a plan? Yes, sir. Now, with that, let me just kickstart in terms of what do we have in store today from the session one standpoint. From the session one of the series, we'll be talking today on the financial accounting and reporting subject, the CPA FAR subject, as to what has really happened in the 2024 as far as the curriculum is concerned. Should we go and deep dive in? Yes, sir. But before we really go in there, let me just ask you to subscribe to our channel, FinTram Global, so that you keep getting these informative videos and you're not missing on to it. Because CPA bole to FinTram. Should we go and check out in terms of what is there in the curriculum? Yes, let me just bring my screen over here. Let me know if you can see that. Can you guys see my screen? Just wanted to make sure that my screen is clearly visible. Can you guys see this? If you can confirm, guys, that'll be really great. People who have joined us on social media, YouTube platforms, they can, if you can really confirm that you're able to hear me out rightfully, and of course see my screen, that'll be really great, guys. Guys, can you please confirm me that my screen is clearly visible to you? Can somebody please write it in the comment box if you can? That will be really helpful. All right. Thank you very much. I think that's really important, for you to really see this. I think all of you can and is very well seeing me for now. All right. Now jumping on to my friend in terms of what I have in store today. I am starting off with the financial accounting and reporting curriculum in terms of what I really wanted to see through as to what is that you really need to know from the examination standpoint, specifically considering, my friend, that we all understand that the CPA evolution has brought in various changes, and it is imperative that we understand that, and of course know that from our examination standpoint, because we are gonna be hitting that very soon. I'm sorry, it is trying to share the screen, but trying to bring it out here. All right. So we'll start off with the FAR 2024 curriculum. Just to let you know, guys, and this is more to start from the basics. थोड़ा basics समझते हैं, थोड़ा ground से समझते हैं in terms of what the FAR subject is all about. The Financial Accounting and Reporting exam in CPA is a 4-hour exam that basically covers, I would say, various accounting and reporting areas as far as the US GAAP is concerned. Now, to put things to perspective, and again, I'm more trying to make you, go as laymanish as possible. I think the way we have the accounting standards in India, and of course in wheresoever you are, as in your own country, you would be having your own accounting standards that will be prevalent in your own geography, be it IFRS for that matter. In the similar way, we have United States generally accepted accounting principles, and that is what that governs what exactly happens in US from the accounting and reporting standpoint. तो जितने भी बच्चे accounting और reporting standards हैं, हम एज पर यूएस गैप उन सबको पढ़ने वाले हैं फ्रॉम द स्टैंड पॉइंट ऑफ फार एग्जाम. एंड फार एग्जाम ऑल्सो कवर्स अप the reporting needs of how the US financials needs to look like. So we'll be seeing through in terms of how the income statement is going to be, how the balance sheet is going to be. We'll also be seeing in terms of what the comprehensive income schedule is, and so on and so forth. We'll also be talking on various components of these elements of financial statements, and we will also talk on in terms of what is that you need to know from the standpoint of specific treatments of the transactions that will go on to the financial statement. We'll also talk on the not-for-profit financial statement. So basically, the FAR exam now, and I'm not trying to compare it, as compared to what it used to be earlier, but FAR, exam now is basically comprising of two important areas, that is for-profit reporting and not-for-profit reporting. So on the for-profit reporting, you'll be covering the normal US gaps, all the US gaps that really covers, that you really need to ensure that you are understanding the financial statements at large, you're able to prepare it, you're able to report it, you're able to analyze it, and so on and so forth. And on the other side, it also covers the not-for-profit organizations. So what exactly would happen in the not-for-profit organizations from the reporting standpoint, that is covered in the FAR exam. We do have governmental accounting here, but I can tell you it is very minimal over here. I would say it's an introduction only here. We are not getting into the details of governmental accounting, because what AICP has done now is that they have taken up the governmental accounting as a topic and they've shifted this to the bar exam. That is the business analysis and reporting exam, which basically is a discipline exam. And of course, we all know that out of the three discipline exams, which is business analysis and reporting, which is ISC, information systems and control, and of course, which is TCP, tax plan, compliance and planning, we have to choose out one and give that exam. But FAR is mandatory. All of us have to give it, and we cannot just get away with that. All right, moving on. Now we know that it's a FAR exam. It's a 4-hour exam. It covers the accounting and reporting as an area. It covers the not for profit as an area, and governmental accounts on the light is an area. But exam में क्या आता है सर? Exam का क्या pattern होता है सर? I think that is also very important. Just tell us that. All right, let's go in there. We have 5 testlets in the exam. So हर CPA एग्जाम में बच्चे टेस्टलेट्स होते हैं, डिफरेंट आई वुड से कंपार्टमेंट्स होते हैं जो एग्जाम के अंदर होते हैं. तो हर टेस्टलेट्स में कुछ स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चंस होते हैं जो आपको अटेम्प्ट करने होते हैं और आपको आंसर करके सबमिट करने होते हैं. जब आप एक टेस्टलेट सबमिट कर देते हो और तो आप दूसरे पे जाते हो, और दूसरे पे जाने के बाद आप पुराने वाले पे नहीं आ पाते हो. यू कैन नॉट कम बैक टू द फर्स्ट टेस्टलेट बिकॉज यू हैव ऑलरेडी सबमिटेड इट. सो इफेक्टिवली आप ईच एंड एवरी कंपार्टमेंट को डील करते हो एंड यू सबमिट दैट एंड देन यू मूव ऑन. If I really have to talk on from the FAR exam standpoint, there are 5 testlets in the FAR exam, which is coming from 2024 onwards. And effectively, if I really have to give you a perspective as to what would be there in these 5 testlets, there are 50 MCQs that you need to answer, and there are 7 simulations, which is task-based simulations. We'll come on to that as to what that is. That is something that you really need to cover from the FAR exam standpoint. अगर मैं पहले 2 टेस्टलेट की बात करूं, the first 2 टेस्टलेट्स have 25 MCQs each. अच्छा, आप ऐसे नहीं कर सकते हो कि आप एक टेस्टलेट को छोड़ के दूसरे पे चले जाओ, आप ऐसे नहीं कर सकते। आपको एक सबमिट करना पड़ेगा तभी आप दूसरे पे जा सकते हो, बिकॉज यू हैव टू सबमिट दैट एंड देन यू कैन ओनली मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन। सो फर्स्ट 2 टेस्टलेट्स होने वाले हैं बच्चे एमसीक्यूज के, मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, कैलकुलेशन ज्यादा रहती हैं फार के एग्जाम में, डेफिनेशंस कम होती हैं, तो जनरली यूएस गैप बेस्ड कैलकुलेशंस होंगी जो आपको करनी होंगी। और 25 क्वेश्चन होने वाले हैं फर्स्ट टेस्टलेट में और 25 क्वेश्चन होने वाले हैं सेकेंड टेस्टलेट में। मैं थर्ड टेस्टलेट की बात करूं, अगर थर्ड टेस्टलेट में 2 टास्क बेस्ड सिमुलेशंस हैं। टास्क बेस्ड सिमुलेशंस की मैं जहां तक बात करता हूं बेटा, वो बेसिकली होता है आपका एक केस होता है और उस केस के ऊपर आपको बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं, चाहे वो क्वेश्चन कैलकुलेशन बेस्ड हो, चाहे वो क्वेश्चन डेफिनेशन बेस्ड हो, चाहे वो क्वेश्चन एनालिसिस बेस्ड हो। तीनों तरह के क्वेश्चन हो सकते हैं जो आपको उस सिमुलेशन के बेसिस पे या उस केस के बेसिस पे पूछे जाएंगे, जो आपको आंसर करने होंगे। सो ये एमसीक्यू नहीं है, ये बेसिकली एक केस है जो आपको पढ़ना होता है और उसके हिसाब से आपको आंसर करना होता है। थर्ड टेस्टलेट में 2 टास्क पे सिमुलेशन होने वाले हैं, फोर्थ टेस्टलेट में 3 टास्क पे सिमुलेशन होने वाले हैं और फिफ्थ टेस्टलेट में 2 टास्क पे सिमुलेशन होने वाले हैं। सो इफेक्टिवली वी विल हैव 7 simulations my friend in the exam, in addition to the 50 MCQs that you would need to answer to become a qualified CPA. Is that clear? Yes sir. अगर कोई कंफ्यूजन या कोई डाउट या कोई क्वेश्चन आ रहा हो तो डू I would say keep putting that into the comment box, because end में हम बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन टेकअप कर ही लेंगे जो भी आपके होने वाले हैं from the presentation standpoint. Is that clear? Yes sir. 1 मिनट के लिए मैं क्वेश्चन साइड में लगा लेता हूं, जस्ट टू मेक श्योर कि मेरे पास भी आपके क्वेश्चंस साइड बाय साइड आते रहें, so that I'm not missing on to it. Is that clear? Yes sir. 1 minute. Let me just do that and then we will kickstart. All right. Now that's what the overall FAR exam structure is all about. Now we'll go on in terms of the content का allocation, वेटेज के स्टैंड पॉइंट से क्या होने वाला है। क्योंकि फार एग्जाम है तो बहुत सारा कंसंट्रेशन जो होगा वो आपका फिनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग पे होने वाला है। तो अकाउंटिंग एंड रिपोर्टिंग दोनों एस्पेक्ट कवर्ड है, बट फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग बहुत सारा टाइम लगाते हैं। तो इनकम स्टेटमेंट, कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इनकम स्टेटमेंट, स्टेटमेंट ऑफ फाइनेंशियल आई वुड से द ओवरऑल फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट, द स्टेटमेंट ऑफ फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन पर से, इन सब चीज़ों की अच्छी खासी वेटेज है कि इसमें क्या जाएगा, क्या डिस्क्लोज होगा, नोट्स टू अकाउंट्स में क्या जाएगा, एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ। और जब हम ये प्रिपेयर करते हैं तो हमें किन चीज़ों का ध्यान रखना होता है, क्या चीज़ कहाँ जाती है, एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ, वो सारी चीजें फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग में कवर होती हैं, जिसका वेटेज अप्रोक्सीमेटली 30 to 40% रहने वाला है। अगेन ये AICPS गिवन फिगर्स हैं, आई एम ओनली ट्राइंग टू शेयर इट विद यू, तो आपको एक पर्सपेक्टिव मिल जाए दैट हाउ द एग्जाम गोना बी लुकिंग लाइक। इज दैट क्लियर? यस सर। नाउ कमिंग ऑन टू द सेकंड इंपॉर्टेंट कंपोनेंट। सेकेंड इंपॉर्टेंट कंपोनेंट इज बैलेंस शीट अकाउंट्स। बहुत सारे बैलेंस शीट अकाउंट होंगे जिनसे आप डील करेंगे, प्राइमरली एसेट साइड हो गया या लायबिलिटी साइड हो गया, या विद इन एसेट साइड प्रॉपर्टी प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट हो गया, गुडविल हो गया, बैंक हो गया, करंट एसेट्स हो गया, एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ। और मैं लाइबिलिटी साइड पे बात करूं तो इक्विटी इज वन ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट कंपोनेंट, रिटेन्ड अर्निंग इज वन ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट कंपोनेंट्स। मैं नॉन लाइबिलिटी की बात करूं, करंट लाइबिलिटी की बात करूं, इन सब एज पे, प्रेजेंटेशन पे, कैलकुलेशन पे, एनालिसिस पे, एंड ऑफ कोर्स डिस्क्लोजर्स पे, सब पे क्वेश्चन खड़े होते हैं। ये सारा बैलेंस शीट अकाउंट है। सो एक तो हुआ रिपोर्टिंग, मैं रिपोर्ट क्या करने वाला हूं, एक हुआ मेरे बैलेंस शीट अकाउंट की स्पेसिफिक कैलकुलेशन या उसकी रिपोर्टिंग, मैं उस पर क्या करने वाला हूं। ये दोनों चीजें भी 30 to 40% आपकी एग्जाम में टेस्ट हो सकती हैं। सो इफेक्टिवली फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग व्हिच इज मोर लाइक हाउ द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट इज गोना बी लुकिंग लाइक 30 to 40%, एंड बैलेंस शीट अकाउंट इन टर्म्स ऑफ हाउ द अकाउंटिंग वुड हैपन ऑन टू दोज अकाउंट्स यूएस गैप के मद्देनजर, दैट इज अगेन 30 to 40%। लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट इज द ट्रांजैक्शन रिलेटेड अकाउंटिंग, जो बहुत सारे स्पेसिफिक यूएस गैप होने वाले हैं जो ट्रांजैक्शन रिलेटेड होते हैं, चाहे वो लीज हो, फाइनेंशियल इंस्ट्रूमेंट हो, अर्निंग पर शेयर हो, डेफर टैक्स हो, एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ। वो सारी चीजें कवर होंगी और वो सारी चीजें पूछी जाती हैं अंडर द ट्रांजैक्शन रिलेटेड अकाउंटिंग। उनकी कैलकुलेशन भी हो सकती है, उनका डिस्क्लोजर भी हो सकता है, उनका यूएस गैप स्पेसिफिक ट्रीटमेंट होगा जो आपको पता होना चाहिए, एंड दैट इज अराउंड 25 to 30%। Is that clear, guys? I'm only trying to give you, my friend, how the weightage of the new US CPA FAR exam is going to be looking like, ताकि आपको पता हो कि अच्छा ऐसे होने वाला है, ऐसे मुझे तैयारी करनी है, and I have to prepare it in this way, because that's what any and every proud FinTrammer would do. Because CPA बोले तो FinTram. Moving on, guys, on the skill allocation, I just wanted to bring this to the perspective because सब बच्चों को ये चीज पता होनी चाहिए, and बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट मिस कर जाते हैं इस चीज को कि जो सीपीए का फार एग्जाम है, इसका बहुत सारा कॉन्सेंट्रेशन एनालिसिस और एप्लीकेशन पे होता है, रिमेंबरिंग एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग पे नहीं होता है. मैं इसका थोड़ा सा डिटेल आउट करते हैं कि सर ये रिमेंबरिंग एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग है क्या. देखो बेटा, क्योंकि अकाउंटिंग एंड रिपोर्टिंग एग्जाम है और क्योंकि एमसीक्यू बेस्ड होता है, तो एक अजम्पशन काफी सारे स्टूडेंट ले लेते हैं कि क्या ये एग्जाम से रटिफिकेशन वाला होने वाला है, जहां मुझे कॉन्सेप्ट पता हो, मैंने पढ़ा हो, मैंने सीखा हो, मैंने रटा मार लिया हो और मैं उसको आंसर कर दूं, मैं डेफिनेशन लिख दूं, एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. आएगा, कुछ क्वेश्चन आएंगे जो डेफिनेशन के होंगे या सिर्फ टिक इन द बॉक्स होंगे, जो बेसिक होंगे, बट वो सिर्फ 5 to 10-15% तक ही होते हैं. Most of the questions that you would see in the FAR exam are application और एनालिसिस बेस्ड. सर क्या मतलब है दोनों का? एप्लीकेशन का क्या मतलब है, एनालिसिस का क्या मतलब है, थोड़ा सा इससे बताओ. चलो उसे समझते हैं. एप्लीकेशन की जहां तक बात है, एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन वो होते हैं जहां आपको कुछ कंप्यूट, कैलकुलेट या कहीं ना कहीं आपको कुछ कैलकुलेशन या न्यूमेरिकल एबिलिटीज अपनी दिखानी पड़ती हैं. वो हुआ एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड. लेट्स से मुझे गुडविल का कैलकुलेशन करना है, लेट्स से मुझे माइनॉरिटी इंटरेस्ट निकालना है, लेट्स से मुझे इक्विटी निकालनी है, लेट्स से मुझे कैश फ्लो निकालना है, कैश फ्रॉम ऑपरेशंस निकालना है, कैश फ्रॉम इन्वेस्टिंग निकालना है, एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. सो इफेक्टिवली यू आर कंप्यूटिंग दैट, यू आर कैलकुलेटिंग दैट. दैट इज व्हाट एप्लीकेशन इज ऑल अबाउट. तो एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड बहुत बड़ा होने वाला है सीपीए के एग्जाम में, एंड दैट इज अप्रोक्सीमेटली 50% ऑफ योर एग्जाम. तो मेरे पास रटिफिकेशन फार में नहीं चलेगी, मुझे कैलकुलेशन काफी सारी करनी होंगी, और उन कैलकुलेशन करने के लिए मुझे गैप पता होना चाहिए, मुझे गैप्स की अंडरस्टैंडिंग चाहिए, मुझे पता होना चाहिए कि कैलकुलेशन कैसे होती है, यूज गैप क्या बोलता है, किसको इंक्लूड करना होता है, किसको एक्सक्लूड करना होता है, एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. अगर मुझे वो पता है तो आई कैन कैलकुलेट, आई कैन कंप्यूट एंड आई कैन मूव ऑन. बिल्कुल ठीक है सर, समझ में आता है. अब आते हैं बच्चे एनालिसिस स्किल पे. तीसरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्किल है बच्चे एनालिसिस स्किल, विच इज अराउंड 35 to 45% ऑफ योर एग्जाम. एंड दिस इज समथिंग यू रियली नीड टू नो, बिकॉज दिस इज बियॉन्ड नंबर्स. मैंने कैलकुलेशन तो कर लिया, कैलकुलेशन मुझे गैप पता था, मैंने कैलकुलेशन कर लिया, मैंने कंप्यूट करके दे दिया, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, समझ में आता है. बट सर कैलकुलेशन के बियॉन्ड जाते हैं कि नंबर कैसे मूव हुए, हाउ द ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लोज हैव चेंज्ड एंड व्हाई इट हैज चेंज्ड, how the earning per share has changed and why, how the diluted earning per share has moved and what has been the causes of dilution, how my goodwill impairment has happened and why, how my impairment has happened and why, and what is the reason for it, and so on and so forth. I'm just giving these examples. Those don't take it to the heart of it. These are just just for the sake of saying. But analysis says that let's go beyond the computation and then let's analyze the movement in terms of why it has happened. मेरा करंट रेशो चेंज हो गया क्यों, मेरा क्विक रेशो चेंज हो गया क्यों, and so on and so forth. So you take it and you have it, because there are various examples that you really need to deal with in the exam as far as the analysis is concerned, and that really comprise of like 40% of your exam. So 50% approximately is application, the calculation, the computation, 40% is analysis, and 10% I would say is remembering and understanding. That's what the broad guideline is from the ACPA. Is that clear? Yes, sir. You know what? At FinTram, we really take care of these kind of things, when we are really creating our curriculum and, of course, really getting across to you in terms of telling that, this is what it's going to be and this is what you should be doing. And, of course, FinTrammers really understand that. But on the whole, if you're really thinking of per CPA, this is something that you should surely be aware of. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Now, while I've explained the overall syllabus areas, but I really want to, share with you the detailed syllabus areas that are there in the curriculum. So we have the financial reporting as the syllabus area 1, wherein we'll be talking a lot. We'll be talking a lot as far as the curriculum is concerned, as far as the balance sheet, income statement, and the comprehensive income is concerned. We'll talk a lot on that. That'll give you a perspective that, yes, this is how the financial reporting in an organization in US would happen, and this is what I really need to know from the standpoint of US GAAP and so on and so forth. There are various other elements that are being covered in the financial reporting, be it the calculation of the equity, be it the earning per share. All of that is being clubbed in the financial reporting as far as the syllabus area 1 is concerned. When it comes to the second one, which is financial reporting and disclosure, now this is an area wherein you would be really reporting out onto the financials, onto the financial statements. So you'll be covering the notes to the financial statements, the disclosures. You may be covering to an extent the kind of valuation that you really need to do, be it fair value, fair value calculations. You'll be talking on the revenue recognition over here. And of course, you'll be talking on the various specific US GAAP that deals with, let's say, prior period items, that deals with reinstatements and so on and so forth. And of course, in this area, we'll also touch upon, since it deals with the financial reporting and disclosures, and we know that analysis is one of the key things over here. We'll be talking onto the ratio analysis over here. Very important from the examination standpoint. You would always see questions coming on from section A and section B. Very important. Do not really forget on that. Now coming on to the third one, which is the third syllabus area, which is asset and the related topics. I think the name really suggests that as to what this is. All of the cash components, whether it is cash equivalents, whether it is current assets, non-current assets, trade receivables, inventory, PP&E, and whatnot, everything is over here. We have to understand that what exactly will go on to the asset side of it, including intangibles, and of course, what is the accounting treatment of it as far as the US GAAP is concerned. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Coming on to the liabilities side of it. Now we have done the asset, sir. We are on the liabilities as to what really goes on to the liabilities. We know, sir, there are payables, there are long-term payables, short-term payables, there are bonds, there are long-term debts and whatnot, sir. We know all of that. And of course, one important component that really covers over here is the contingencies that you really need to have onto your financial statement. Very important that we do not really undermine that. And what has happened from 2024 standpoint is that the lease accounting, the lessee's accounting that is there in the syllabus, the lessor accounting, has been shifted. So you would see that also being here, in terms of, what you really need to know from the lease standpoint as far as the overall liabilities are concerned that you really need to have. Then comes the investment statement of cash flows and the income taxes. I think name suggests a lot, but this is an area wherein we'll be covering the financial instruments. This is the area wherein we'll cover, how the cash flow statements is going to be prepared. What kind of things that you really need to know from the cash flow standpoint. We'll talk on various methods over here, the equity method, the overall preparation of the cash flow statement. We'll talk on the income taxes, and when we talk on income tax, we'll talk on more on what is going to be the current tax, what is going to be the deferred tax, and so on and so forth. Very important. Coming on to the last but not the least, we'll be covering in detail, my friend, as to what the not-for-profit organization do as far as the accounting and reporting is concerned. There are various things that we'll be covering from the expense standpoint, from the revenue recognition standpoint, as to what really happens in the not-for-profit. While they are not-for-profit, they really need to recognize revenue based on certain methods. We'll be talking on to that. And then you have an overview of the governmental accounting over here. As I said, there is no detailed governmental accounting anymore in the FAR syllabus. Anything and everything has gone out to the bar. That's what the overall financial accounting and reporting is gonna be looking like from the 2024 onwards standpoint. Any exam that you're planning in the 2024 and the months and the years to come forward, this is gonna be the syllabus area until and unless they really change and of course bring something onto the plate. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Now, this is again one of the very important slides that you should be knowing, my friend. This is the Becker FinTram CPA offering that FinTram really brings on to yourself in terms of what you would or you should be expecting when you really register yourself with FinTram as far as your own CPA curriculum is concerned. What you really get is that because we are the registered partner with Becker, you get the best in class learning management system from Becker. That is gonna be the key for you to really clear the exam, because it is an artificial intelligence based module. You really get to see in terms of how you are preparing your study plan, how you're really there from the standpoint of managing that, and of course how well you have done, how prepared you are. The system will keep telling you as to how much you're prepared and when you're prepared for writing the CPA exam. In addition to that, you will get the best in class live online sessions from the FinTram faculty. You would be relishing that, my friend, because that is where you really need to know, or you get to know, what exactly is in the curriculum and how exactly you should be handling from the examination standpoint. You will get all the tips and tricks that you really need to ensure that you're not missing on to that. Along with the self-paced learning, when it comes to the online interactive sessions, it really act as a very good combination for really hitting the exam in the best possible way. And icing on the cake is that you get the a very strong comprehensive study material from the Becker Professional Education, in addition to the juice notes that FinTram will be providing to you. The study material that is available, with FinTram is the recent one. The 2024 study material is out. You can reach out to us, and team will be more than happy to really help you on that. You would also be getting, a strong and a very targeted mentoring for yourself, for becoming a qualified CPA, because most of our students, they really need and get, or I would say there is a need to get it mentoring from a qualified CPAs, and we have a pool of that evaluation support, because there's a big time thing in CPA which relates to your evaluation of your credentials in terms of which state you really need to go and sit for exam. FinTram is really there to really help you in terms of what you should be doing and what should be your next step as far as the licensing is concerned. You'd also be getting, my friend, the revision boot camps. Now, this is something really specific to FinTram, wherein you'll go through what exactly the questions can be in the exam and how to answer that. What is the best way? What are the areas wherein you do mistakes, and so on and so forth. So that is something that we take in the revision boot camp, wherein we revise the content with the help of various questions that the faculty practice in the class. You'll also get the 24/7 doubt resolution process support over here. You can reach out to your faculties on WhatsApp and so on and so forth, and they're more than happy to help you. And there's not the last thing. Once you have done your CPA, you have qualified it, there is an assured placement that happens, with FinTram, with Becker, to ensure that you're not being left out after you're clearing the exam. And of course, we all know CPA demand is any which was very high. And I'm sure you would certainly reckon that fact when you would become a qualified CPA. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Now, with that, my friend, I really want to take a break and, of course, start answering any of the questions. I really wanted this to be very clear and crisp, just to make sure that all of us really understand as to what has really happened on the financial side. You have our number and the website over here. My WhatsApp number, in case you want to reach out to me, we'll be more than happy to pick this up for any query anyone may have. I'll be more than happy to help you in whatever way possible. Any question, guys, anyone, feel free to jump in and write it on the comment box. We'll be more than happy to pick that up. Suzanne says, is it going to be tough or easy? Suzanne, if it is going to be easy, then it's not going to be worthwhile. CPA has a value. CPA has a market. CPA has I would say, demand in the market, and it is all because they offer the content that is relevant to the market, and you have to go through that content in the way you would go for any professional exam. So it's a professional exam. It's not going to be easy, my friend. But with FinTram, with Becker, the journey becomes a hell lot easier. And of course, the study plan that we offer, and of course, the support that we offer, your journey will be much more easier as compared to what you would have thought. The only thing is that you need to have that rigor and a push in your mind, in your thoughts, to really achieve what you can and you should. All right. How long is the FAR section of the CPA exam? I think I answered that, Saifi, that, the FAR exam section, is 4-hour exam, and there are 6 modules to be covered. I have covered that in detail, so I'm sure I would have answered that. So Ayushi, how should I prepare for the FAR section? There is no better way to, other than to reach out to FinTram, Becker program. You can join us and the team will be more than happy to pick you up. And the books, which are the latest ones, to ensure that you get the best of the best content. Sakshi says, how often I can take FAR section if I don't pass? We provide you the access of all of the sections for 24 months. So effectively, you would have 24 months to clear the exam. And Sakshi, don't really feel that bogged down. It is not that tough. While it is not easy, but it is not that tough too. People who really study for the purpose or for the motive of clearing the exam, they clear. It is just that when you think of that you can't clear, then the doubts will start happening. But when you think of that, I have to clear and I will clear and come what may, then things will be very different. So don't really be bothered on the result for now. Start preparing for it, and I'm sure sky's the limit. Mai says, what topics are covered in FAR section of CPA exam? I have very well covered that. In case you have not, you have joined late, I'll be sharing the video of this presentation with you. You can certainly have a look on that. We've covered each and every element in detail in terms of what is being covered in the FAR exam. Muskan says, what is the typical duration of preparation of the FAR exam? Any exam in CPA needs at least 3 to 4 months time to really be prepared and hit the exam. Anything done before that is not right. You need at least 3 to 4 months of time to go through the classes, start preparing yourself, practice questions, and prepare yourself. That is the minimum time. But on an average, 4 to 5 months is the time wherein I would say that you are decently prepared to hit the exam in the best possible way. So I would say anywhere between 3 to 5 months. Okay. Gulwan says, how can I get the hard copy of material of US CPA? Just reach out to FinTram, Gulwan, and I'm sure team will be there to help you out. As I said, we are the channel partner of with Becker, and we'll be more than happy to provide you the Becker content along with the juice notes of FinTram, and that's going to be very handy to you when it comes to the last day preparation. All of that is being provided as part of our package. You can reach out to FinTram. I provide all the details over here, and I'm sure team will be there to really help you in terms of what should be your next steps. Any other questions, guys? Anyone may have? I am still here. I do not want to lose out on time for yourself. I want to give you the best in terms of whatever time frame we have, just to make sure that you're not missing on anything and everything in relation to CPA. Hardik says, hi sir, can you tell me what is the difference between reg and TCP? As I saw taxation topic in both. So reg and TCP, if I really have to say, Hardik, TCP is sort of a big brother to reg now. Many of the advanced components of reg have been taken out and has been now been made part of TCP. And many of those components are there now, which used to be like the real tough ones or the advanced ones that used to be there in reg. They have really taken out, and they really have added on few more areas to become to make it a subject which is tax compliance and planning. I would be holding some specific sessions like this, that the way we are doing for FAR. There'll be each and every subject being covered in a separate session. So, we'll be covering one more subject next week and so on and so forth. So, you can join us for that session also. We'll be covering that too, wherein we'll deep dive into each and every subject to tell you as to what is there and what is the curriculum. So wait for that. But if I really have to tell you in a broader way, TCP is sort of a subset of regulation, but the advanced version of the topics that are being discussed in regulation or discussed in regulation, they have been taken out, and we have a separate subject now that is called TCP, tax compliance and planning. Any other question, guys? Anyone may have? I really want you guys to really, put your thoughts onto the piece of paper, onto over here, because we have to resolve it. And that is what really makes us differentiated to, and that is why, our result is also very high, because CPA bole to FinTram. Any other question, guys, anyone may have before I really wrap up? I really don't want you to stretch for no reason. So I really want to give you back your time to make sure that you are getting the best out of it. One thing that I really want to call out to each and everyone, I hope this session is making sense to you and you're liking the content and understanding what is being said over here. At least one thing that I deserve is a like on this video to make sure that you are able to get a perspective. At least that much I can deserve, right? Can I ask all of you to please press a like? I think that will be really important, at least motivating for me. All right. I don't see any question coming in. So thank you very much, guys, for joining in. Towards the end, I would again say that, subscribe to our channel, FinTram Global, just to make sure that these informative videos are not being missed by you and you're getting that on time. Just subscribe and, of course, press the, the button of subscribe to make sure that you're getting this on an ongoing basis. I'll see you again, my friend, in the next one. Till then, this is Pankaj Dhingra signing off.